exact same talking point in yesterday's post-game video, but I wanted to talk against the Flames, Coyotes, Oilers, Flames again, and then the Jets. Lindholm, for all intents and purposes, started to look a lot more like a top 6 caliber forward more. And that's exactly what we saw. Elias Lindholm has 3 points in 4 postseason games against the Nashville Predators. You could debate he should have 4 points because the Dakota Joshua game-leading go-ahead goal in Game 1. Lindholm was on the forecheck. He then allowed Garland to take the puck free, send it up to Joshua, and then give the Canucks a go-ahead goal just 12 seconds after their game-tying goal from Pia Suter in Game 1. So Lindholm's stats might not even be also representing of how good he has been. He opened up the scoring in the playoffs of Vancouver's playoff run with the opening goal against Saros, a long wrist shot on the rush with the screen from Momiosi. He played 21 minutes in Game 3, which was pretty outstanding when you consider the defensive battle that game was. And then in Game 4, he had a goal and an assist. Such an incredible performance here out of a guy whose presence had kind of gone under the radar. I mean, Brock Besser was the real star of the night, I feel, because Besser got the hat trick, but Lindholm with the overtime winner, which was great, as well as the primary assist on the Brock area was a lot more prone for him to tip pucks rather than be a part of the cycle. But now, when it was like 6-on-5, you've got the Canucks cycling it up top, you've got P, Hughes, and Miller. Eventually it goes over to Lindholm, who then goes cross-crease to Besser.
Mom traded Michaels with buy one, get one free deals on hundreds of gifts, like frames, floral, and decor, and mom will love. Plus, more deals on kids and gifts.
Beautiful play, such poise to not shoot right away. On day 2 of the 2014 NHL entry draft, I never thought that 10 years later, I would be making this video. In fact, I didn't think I'd be making any videos, because in 2014, I was not making too many videos about Vancouver Canucks stuff at all. I was just kind of talking about video games. But 10 years ago, Thatcher Demko was drafted by the Vancouver Canucks in the 2nd round, 36th overall. It was a historical draft pick because in this time frame, the Canucks had themselves a bunch of goalies rotating around. You had Roberto Luongo, you had an inevitable Eddie Lack who would take over the starting position. You had just traded away Corey Schneider the year prior. So Thatcher Demko was supposed to be the next best thing. And a lot of Canucks fans saw similarities between Demko and the aforementioned traded away Corey Schneider. But that was 10 years ago. It was a while. We didn't have a set path for everything to fall into place. But now, it's 2024, and Thatcher Demko is a Vezina Trophy finalist. I never thought that I'd be making this video, but heading into the 2024 playoffs, we all kind of had this idea, saying, okay, this award is probably going to go to Connor Hellebuyck. It's his to lose at this point. I mean, Hellebuyck had the best season, I'd say, out of all the goaltenders this year, but Thatcher Demko, even if he got injured, even if he may have had some rough stretches here and there, this is a guy that still is in that conversation too, and he should probably get nominated. Canucks fans, we are happy with just a nomination. We kind of realized that it was Hellebuyck's trophy to lose, but for Thatcher the Snatcher, just having this on his resume, that he is a Vezina Trophy finalist alongside Sergei Bobrovsky, alongside Connor Hellebuyck, this is what we didn't play all too much. He split the load, I believe, with Braden Holtby in this season, but the Canucks were not all too great, which is kind of playing into why there wasn't much Vezina love this season. 2021-2022, honestly, he had a really good season, .915 save percentage, 64 games, but if I recall correctly, this was the year that Igor Shesterkin absolutely went off, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was. .935 save percentage, and Markstrom also was a Vezina finalist in that year with the Calgary Flames. So while Demko was a top goalie, he was 15th overall in save percentage that year. There were just a whole bunch of other guys that were better. So that's kind of why he was up there in that conversation. 2022-2023, he had a bad year. He was injured, 901 save percentage. We can disregard that. And then in 2023-2024, a .918 save percentage in 51 games played. Now, sure, Demko wasn't like the peak of all goaltenders in terms of these numbers. I mean, you look at the games played, you go over to 60, you see to go. Thatcher Demko was 7th overall in overall save percentage, but for players over 41 games, he was second behind Connor Hellebuyck, who was first. Hellebuyck is going to win this award. We all kind of recognize that, especially since the award voting was done before the playoffs. There's no playoff rust that is being tacked on to whatever voting process people are thinking about. So Hellebuyck, Demko, and then you have Sergei Bobrovsky, who was the other nominee here, who was so good this season. I mean, 90 save percentage, 58 games played. The team was so good, and Bobrovsky was right up there as one of the best. So let me know your thoughts in the comments personally about Thatcher Demko being nominated for the entire Vezina Trophy. But what I also wanted to do in this video was go over some of the numbers about goaltending in the playoffs, as well as read the article. I guess I should have started out with this first, but Bobrovsky, Demko, and Hellebuyck voted the Vezina Trophy finalists. If we could make the page smaller, how does that look? Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Here we go. That's perfect. Sergei Bobrovsky, the Florida Panthers, Thatcher Demko, the Vancouver Canucks, and Connor Hellebuyck, the Winnipeg Jets are the three finalists for the Vezina Trophy, awarded to the goaltender adjudged to be the best at his position. The NHL announced today. NHL GM submitted ballots for the Vezina Trophy at the conclusion of the regular season, with the top three goalies getting designated as the finalists. Following are the finalists for the Vezina Trophy in alphabetical order. Sergei Bobrovsky had a 36-17-4 record, 2.37 goals against average, and .915 save percentage, and 6 shutouts in 58 games played. He backstopped the Panthers to a second advantage division title in 3 seasons and the second highest standing point total in franchise history. His 36 wins ranked second in Panthers history for a single season, topped only by the club record of 39, which he won in 2021-2022. He co-led the league in shutouts, tied for 30 wins, ranked third in goals against average, and posted 900 better save percentage in 37 starts. Second in the NHL, the solo Vezina finals, Connor Hellebuyck, who had 39. His 14-1-1 stretch from December 23rd to February 20th, which had a 2.22 goals against and a 9.22 save percentage, lifted the Panthers from third place to first for the Atlantic onward to the club's division title. Bobrovsky is the first Vezina finalist from the Panthers in 20 years. Roberto Luongo was third in 2003-2004 and bid to become the franchise's first winner. He captured Vezina honors in 2013 and 2017, both as a member of the Blue Jackets. So for Sergei Bobrovsky, this is a really good comeback story. This was a guy that had himself a pretty rough start in the Florida Panthers system. Everybody's saying, oh, he's overpaid, he's this, he's that, that's an albatross of a contract. But now he had himself a season that was Vezina worthy, and if you want to go over what exactly it is that Bobrovsky is capable of, yeah, this is why you signed this guy to that amount of money. Because this is a player who, at the end of the day, if he's at his best, he is one of the best in the NHL, and that is what we have seen this season with his .915 save percentage in 58 games played. Going over to Thatcher Demko, oh boy, this is the best part about it, baby. Demko set career best in wins, goals against, save percentage, and shutouts, all coming in just 51 starts, as the Vancouver Canucks won their first division title since 2012-13 and posted the third highest standing points totals in their 53 seasons. His 35 wins tied for the 5th most in franchise history, surpassed only by Luongo, who did it 3 times, 47, 40, and 38, and Kirk McLean with 38. Man, Luongo had 47 wins in this season? That's crazy. Demko was nearly unbeatable in mid-season, posting an 18-2-1 record over a 21-game span from December 8th to February 15th. His final win-loss streak was his 30th in the season, becoming the 5th active goaltender to reach the 30-win mark in 40 games or fewer. I think he was the first guy to win 30 as well, I'm pretty sure. No? Or was it Georgiev? Demko placed among the elite in NHL edge tracking data, posting the second best save percentage for high danger shots, an .845. League average was .788. He is a first-time Vezina Trophy finalist and is vying to become the first Canucks goaltender to capture the honor. While that's all fine and dandy, and while we are very proud of Thatcher the Snatcher for getting nominated, I think it's a pretty common-held belief that it's not going to be him that wins, because Connor Hellebuyck of the Winnipeg Jets, who won the Jennings Trophy as the goaltender on the team, allowing the fewest regular season goals, helping the Jets earn a Stanley Cup playoff berth for the 6th time in the past 7 years. How about yielded 3 or fewer goals and 50 of his 60 total appearances, including a pair of 10-game streaks with 2 or fewer goals against, from November 17th to December 16th, and from December 22 to January 20th. He became the third goalie in the NHL's modern era since 1943-44 to post multiple such stretches in a single season. That's actually crazy. My goodness. Wow. The third goalie in the NHL's modern era since the 40s, since World War II. Hey, that's a crazy number. This guy's going to win the Vezina. He was second in the NHL in wins and save percentage, fourth in goals against, and ranked above the 95th percentile for the fourth high-danger shots against and saves, according to NHL tracking data. How about his Vezina Trophy finals for the second consecutive season and fourth time overall? He became the franchise's first ever Vezina recipient in 2019-20, finished second in voting in 2018, and third in 2023. So, Connor Hellebuyck is going to win this award. We all know this, but just to see it accidentally nominated, that is great. If you go over to goaltending in the postseason, you can see that the Canucks have themselves 3 of the top guys in save percentage because they've had so many goalies rotating around here. Darren Dillard is 917 in 1 game played. The Smith is 911 in 2 games, and Arthur Seeloff is 900. Top 11 goaltending performances here for the Vancouver Canucks, and we talk.
It's not fast food, but it's
This is Victoria.
Arnold, but a pre-built base game. But once you unlock the workshop, the layer itself is an underground robot factory, so no pools of water to place water purifiers in, and no dirt to plant crops in. Apparently there are some piles of junk on an upper platform that can allow you to place a water pump, but if you were the logical sort that made the mistake of scrapping all junk and debris before starting your build, that ability is now gone. Also, you aren't allowed to plant food or garden plots, so even if you did sneak a water pump in, the site still won't be able to support itself. Of course, the idea here is that this is the Mechanist Slayer, so you're supposed to use a robot workbench to construct a legion of automatrons, which don't require food, water, or other stuff that keeps us disgusting meatbags alive. But as a true settlement location, it's out of the running. Home plate is a player home, pure and simple. You aren't allowed to plant food, there's no dirt to place a water pump, you can't install a recruitment beacon, you can't build turrets, and you can't even send settlers or companions here either. So yeah, it's a place for you to sleep for free. You know, if you forget about that 2,000 cash that it takes to purchase it in the first place. It's just a place to lay your head in the safety of Diamond City. Nothing more. The Boston Airport is very similar to the Mechanist Slayer. There are some dirt patches that let you place a couple water pumps, and the terrain isn't nearly as restrictive as the Mechanist Slayer, but it's still impossible to create a self-sustaining population here without crops and without a recruitment beacon. You have to manually assign settlers to the location, though it can be done. As I know will inevitably be stated in the comments if I don't explicitly state this, the airport isn't really intended to be a settlement in the first place. It's really just here for BOS playthroughs if you intend to have Proctor Ingram, the most underrated BOS member in all of Fallout 4, in my opinion, build the molecular relay, and also it builds the parts you need for Liberty to Prime. So with those sad excuses for workshops out of the way, let's actually start focusing on the ones that feasibly allow you to build self-sustainable settlements, shall we? Yes, Coastal College has fallen in the rankings to dead last. The crumbling house lies smack dab in the center of the settlement and can't be scrapped. The garage is too small to really make any practical use of, and it's missing a good chunk of the roof, and it can't be scrapped. A quarter of the settlement is a steep hill, another quarter is sheer stone cliffs, and the rest is littered with debris, shipping containers, and trees that can't be scrapped. It's the northernmost coastal settlement, and there really isn't near any place of importance to the main story. However, there are some redeeming qualities that are often overlooked. Anyway, just in case you thought the Lone Raider trapped on the upper floor of the house and the Mirelurks that are living in what is assumed to be an old Yowai den are the only dangers you have to deal with, there is a territorial Deathclaw right around the corner who wiped out said Yowai, and a Mirelurk queen just down the hill, both of which respawn. Also, a scripted raider ambush on the road below the cottage and a nearby beach infested with Mirelurks and ferals. It's not plagiarism if you said it the first time, so I feel safe in reiterating that if you just add it all together, you have yourself a recipe for a big old bowl of milk.
How irresistible are cheese and crackers.
big and juicy, made with real cheese.
At the complete opposite end of the Commonwealth, on the edge of the glowing sea, is Somerville Place, a settlement that's the complete opposite of Coastal Cottage. Just kidding, it's almost just as bad. In its defense, the terrain is much better than Coastal Cottage, so even though the only flat terrain is reserved for the corn patch and roofless house, the rest of the settlement is on a fairly gentle slope, so it's not impossible to work with, just a bit of a pain. The build ceiling is fairly average, so you can build multi-story structures, but the big tree on the edge of the settlement clips branches through the floors, walls, and ceilings of any structure taller than, well, pretty much ground level. But that's about it for the challenges to building, so why is it so far down this list? Well, it's the spawn points for settlement attacks. There are two of them. One of them happens to be right on the default fast travel point for the settlement. So if you don't place that little floor mat somewhere that moves your fast travel point, you're going to jump right into a world of pain if you choose to respond to an attack. The other is right off the front porch of the house, dead center of the settlement. So you can't hide behind a wall, you can't build a tower fortress, you have to leave your settlement wide open and point all of your defenses facing inward, which is so counterintuitive. It was this serious handicap that actually dropped it from the bottom of this tier to almost tying with Coastal Cottage for the worst. Yep, it's still down here at the bottom.